Welcome to the Morning Call Show, and I'm here, Bob Sellers, with Jerry Burke, and we're taking a look, Jerry, first at what happened in the Democratic primaries, especially in Michigan. Talk about that a sec.
Yeah, that's great. Good morning, guys. First of all, a lot of green on the screen today down on Wall Street, but the primaries were supposed to be the big news. The socialists creeping forward, gaining a lot of gains there in the Midwest of all places.
Yeah.
Saeed has called a press conference for 10:30.
Yeah.
And to talk about his recent great victory. So the race has not been called. You know?
I think maybe he's had a conversation with his opponent and it's going to go that way. Because in a primary, I think it's less than 1% difference. But unless there's a huge number of write-ins that are going to be some other direction, it seems like it's his. And I would say, Jerry, this is part of the Democrats' problem. In my opinion, they have a Michigan problem. The Michigan problem is you have a lot of Muslims, which he is, which is okay. Muslims are part of our country. However, a lot of folks in Michigan as a state are not really assimilating all as much as some others. And there's a real anti-Israel positioning, and that puts the Democrats in a funny position. And that's my point. The Democrats have a Michigan problem because of their stances way to the left on many issues, including Israel. And you and I are realistic enough. We know what's going on in Gaza. Not everybody's a fan of. But even the question there, if you ask a lot of those politicians, does Israel have a right to exist? A lot of them won't even answer.
Well, first of all, will it stand up in the general election? And number two, Wisconsin also is a problem for the Democrats. Like, what's going on there?
And both swing states, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it is a problem for them. They're going so left, so far left. And the reason that's a problem, you and I know, having worked at conservative networks, that what the conservative networks do is they bring those up. Mamdani, that's a gift to the Republicans. Ooh, look what he said today. They're all like that. They're all Democrats. They're all socialists. They're all communists. And so when you have the progressives in the Democratic Party who get the headlines, that just feeds right into the narrative.
No, you're right.
Republicans.
It's all low hanging fruit, Bob. In Wisconsin, the woman, she wanted to cancel Thanksgiving. She wanted to cancel Thanksgiving, 4th of July.
Exactly. So that's where we are. And we'll talk more about that. But I did want to, we have a guest coming up that we want to bring in. And we'll set it up by doing this first. The stock market at an all-time high yesterday. Also,
you have a nifty chart?
Yes, I do have a chart. Here's what I want to do, folks. I want to set up how is Trump doing in this term versus, let's go back to Clinton and all the presidents since then. How did they do on an annualized basis? This is just the price of the S&P 500, not if you reinvest dividends and all that stuff. Okay, just the price of the S&P 500. Let's take a look and see how he's stacking up. He is at the bottom there.
Look at that.
From the time that he started up on an annualized basis, 17 some odd percent. Now you see Bob, Clinton beat up. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people who don't believe your math here because it doesn't, for many, it doesn't feel like it. The economy's doing that well.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But I just want to point out Obama did better than Trump won. They all did better than Bush. We remember the great financial crisis. We've got Biden didn't do as badly as a lot of people would like to portray him. And I'll put this asterisk in there about Trump 2, which is what we're in now, is that this is up till now. The market could sell off, everything could change, and that number could change. Again, this is an annualized basis. In other words, if you took what the market did and said on a yearly basis, what is it? And that could change. In fact, Michael Berry, who is the guy that wrote The Big Short, he came out yesterday or the day before and said, we're going to have a 1987 style crash. So
come on.
Yeah, I know. So Jerry, let's bring in a good friend of ours who can shed some light on what's going on in the markets and the economy, financial expert and part of Leventhal Global Advisors, our friend Tracy Byrnes. Tracy, it's great to see you.
It is great to see both of you. I love this. Bob, it's been forever.
I know it has been. And one of the things we always love talking to you about, of course, what's going on, because you have a great way of bringing it down to what's the average person experiencing. And I don't know if you could hear us. I know you were waiting to talk to us. I don't know if you could hear, but Jerry was making the point. A lot of people don't feel like things are great. Trump is up there saying, yes, it's fantastic. There's a golden age. And not everybody feels like that. Yet you got the market at an all-time high. How do you resolve the two?
I think a lot of it, you guys, is because gas prices determine your day. When you leave the house and you go to fill up your tank on the way to work, if it's over $4, you're mad at the world. If it's under 4, you think it's going to be a good day. And I really do believe that that's the defining line on a lot of things. Because Bob, you're right. Look at your retirement account. It probably hasn't been this high in a very long time. If you just leave things alone and let them churn up, that's what the market does. That's what it's doing. And your chart was really interesting to me because both Clinton and Trump too had this big like revolution under their belt, right? Clinton had the tech boom, and then of course bubble that burst. And now we have this AI thing going on under Trump. So both are benefiting beautifully from it, but the market is holding its own. Everyone loves to hate a bull market, but the market, the underpinnings are there, you guys.
So what do you think about what Dr. Burry said?
Look, a broken clock is right every once. What's the saying? How that goes?
Right.
Right. Something like I think there's enough in place right now to prevent something like that from happening. I think that we see how frenetic this market is and how it can change on a dime. We get news over the weekend that we're fighting in Iran. It's called off Monday morning. Inside of an hour, the market's up 1,000 points. We move way faster than we used to. So I do think that there's enough in place and enough movement out there to prevent us falling off a cliff, quite frankly, ever again.
Yeah, earnings have been really good. I mean, no matter what, we've seen earnings keep up. We've seen some rotation of money from some of the high-flying AI stocks into some of the chip stocks that benefit from that growth. However, let me ask you about this, Tracy. ADP came out today with how many jobs? They only added 44,000 to the economy, way below what was expected. And we know they're volatile, and we know that when the government releases numbers, they could be different. And we also have that inflation. And even though everybody talks about the gas pump, and you're exactly right, I got gas yesterday. At one place I got it, it was like $4.34. At another place it was $4.04. I hated both. Last week it was only $3.89. Oh, yeah. But I would also underscore that people's groceries have gone up so much.
Oh, yeah.
That we don't talk about how much are your groceries, except I don't know how you are. Sometimes I go and we'll get some. It'll be like $300-400 just going to the grocery store. And you talk to the checker, and they'll say, "Yeah, I had somebody come through, and they got $800." I mean, that also, we talk about gas prices because there's not one number we can compare in groceries, but our experience is shared.
Yeah, so I think Jerry made a great point that people aren't feeling great at home. It's because of this like so-called K economy we have going on, that the rich keep getting richer. So that's the upper part of the K that keeps going to the moon, their investment accounts, all the things. The bottom part of the K are the people that are on fixed income, whether you're a W-2 person, whether you're a senior on a steady paycheck, because then your check is going to food and gas, and that's it these days. It feels like insurance is going up, all the things you need just to keep the lights on in your house on a monthly basis, you're tapped out. They can't even make it to the movies in some cases, right? And so that's why there's a whole piece of the economy that's not feeling the love, because this stuff is sticky. Interest rates are going to stay high. Inflation is here. I mean, look, you and I both know the high prices at the grocery store, they're not coming down. They're not. No. Why would they? Why would they? I always use this steak, and we could use Del Rey, Jerry. When you go out for a steak in Del Rey, it's about $110 now. People complain about it, but they eat it. And therefore, no restaurant is going to lower those prices, because let them complain as long as they pay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, all of Palm Beach County, you know, it's one of the wealthiest counties in the country. So I don't think they're going to feel it as much as maybe Des Moines.
But that's the K, right? That's the K.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, the K includes the people in the stock market. And the top 1% of wealth owns something like 50% of the market. and the bottom 50% of income own like 2% of the market. And so the experience some people are having, if you are in the stock market, if you own your own home, you're doing pretty well. But this is one of the reasons I believe you're seeing a lot of movement with progressives. You're seeing a lot of movement amongst Gen Zers who are saying, I mean, we're seeing that. What's going on in Michigan? What's going on in Wisconsin? What's going on in all these races in which progressives, including some Donnie, by the way, they are portraying the rich are not like you and me, and we're going to do something to make them pay. I don't know what the answer is, but I do believe that's part of what I guess I would call a populist movement, Tracy.
Well, I was going to ask myself, WWMD, what would Mom Donnie do? He's opening up these supermarkets. He's going to sell carrots for half price.
Always a great idea to have a socialist / communist open up a market. Yeah.
Right. Right. And all the poor little bodegas that have come correctly from another country that have opened the doors and are working so hard, he just undercut his own voters. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. You know what? Socialism doesn't work in the end, in that it doesn't create this fire in the belly to do better. And that's what we want in this country. We want everyone to want to do better. And if you're just going to create a system where people just work to a point where they start to receive a handout, what are we? We're not the greatest nation in the world then. We're a bunch of lazy whatever, right? So we don't want that. We want to be able to compete, and we want that fire to keep going so that we keep creating and becoming and staying the #1 country out there.
I'm going out there, Coach. I got this. Tracy Byrnes, thank you so much for being with us. It's great to reconnect. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Anytime, you guys. Great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, T.
It was nice
that was great.
Her. And she puts things in perspective. The experience, and you did too, Jerry. I mean, as you said, what people are experiencing is not necessarily what all the big numbers say.
Well, I like her.
Just one more time.
Analysis. Yeah. And Tracy's analysis of the $4 gas. Yeah. I think she's right on.
She is right on. And if anybody didn't see it, what she said is, when you go to get gas, if it's over $4, you're upset. If it's under $4, you're okay. I guess it's the direction also, because the frustrating thing for me is that it went up so fast when we went into Iran, then it came down a little bit, but I got news for you. It's not going to $2. And
no, but Bob, today it's down to $75 a barrel.
Yeah, which is good. But remember where we were back then, the futures were trading high 50s, low 60s. So 75, that's a good thing, but we're also short on gas. And here's the problem that I have, Jerry. Ultimately, Iran knows that it now has ways to control the strait. So it can mess with us when it wants to. Trump goes in, bombs something. Look, I'm on our side, okay? I'm not on Iran's side. I'm just saying the asynchronous warfare going on here is leading to some problems, and that could affect oil down the road. Yeah.
We have another guest.
Yeah, let's do it. You want to do the intros, Jerry?
No, I mailed them to you. You're the host. Okay. I'm the producer.
No.
I'm Gollum. I'm Gollum under the bridge.
Okay. We are joined by Matt DuBoise, and I'll have you tell us, Matt, how you like to.
I don't know if I want to move the camera or not. It's an extreme side profile. We're not.
Okay. I think he's
known as the Coop Daddy.
Go ahead.
This fella, he is the Picasso of chicken coops. Or the Michelangelo of chicken coops. He builds
I don't
chicken
think
coops.
I'd want to be the Picasso. You'd have a
chicken eye over
here, and then a really small one there, and a really big
he builds these outrageous chicken coops with turrets and balconies, and it's just amazing. And he just built one for Vice President Vance at the Executive Mansion, where he's living at the Naval Observatory, so that not for meat, he's not going to roast them, but they're going to collect the eggs, and the kids are going to learn about the chickens and play with the chickens.
Yeah, let's bring Matt in, see if he's can hear us this time. Matt, are you with us?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir, we can.
All right, I do
We're-
not hear Bob. I would love to hear Bob. I see a lot going on. I'm like, what is he saying?
That's not good.
So if you can help me
Well,
out there, and I'm assuming we're not live. This is just getting
No,
No,
recorded.
we are.
We're
We are.
recording, yeah.
All right, perfect.
we
So I
are
can be
recording.
free.
Yeah, Jerry, go ahead and talk to our
Okay.
guest here.
Now, could you please tell our viewers and Bob, you have chosen a distinct style of art. Your medium is chicken coops. Tell me about your coops, your specialty, and how and why you got into this.
Oh
and
my
your latest
goodness.
accomplishment.
Yeah, of course. All right, awesome. And again, I don't hear Bob, but I'll go ahead and begin if that's good with you guys.
Yeah, please.
All right, perfect. I don't think of myself as an artist at all. Okay. I think of myself as the opposite of an artist, but one of the best compliments I have gotten.
But I got to tell you, that's a chicken coop with a cupola on it.
Well, a turret. Yes. I mean, we do a lot of chicken coops with cupolas on it, but in hindsight, one of the best compliments I get from our customers, and it's a term that we use now. It's called functional art.
Oh.
What I have done is figured out how to not accept that a coop should be ugly or it should just function. What I have figured out is how to perfectly bring the two together. If you think about it, for years, everyone just built a chicken coop out of old materials, anything they could find. It's usually ugly materials, and they would just hide it in their backyard. All right. It served a purpose. It did its job, and the chickens did their part, and they gave us awesome, awesome eggs. Right. My prediction starting 20 years ago when the recession started, or 18 years ago, I'm not good at math, forgive me, is a day's going to come that this country is going to wake up. I hate to admit that it was already happening in Europe. For whatever reason, everything happens in Europe first, and then it slowly spills over to the States. And we put our twist on it, and that's what I've been doing, is putting our twist on it. Backyard chicken coops became more of a residence, a household backyard, just like your dog and cat would be. So I predicted this was going to happen. And I said, you know what? I want to help this backyard movement by saying, you know what? Why not make the coops beautiful? And I can tell you, it's actually hard to make something functional and beautiful in one. Anyone can build something functional. Anyone can build something beautiful. Bringing the two together is actually very hard. And then to answer your question, we took it a step further. I remember years ago in my garage building these coops, pulling materials out of dumpsters. I had no money, right? I started from nothing. And I remember saying, if I can figure out how to prefab these coops so they can come apart and just become a giant 3D puzzle and ship them around the world, I'll make it. I'll achieve the American dream. I'll achieve my dream. And that's exactly what we did. And then, we were just at the vice president's residence yesterday. I got to make sure I use the right words here. They don't like the word mansion. But the vice president's residence, we were back yesterday. Awesome, awesome people to work with. And we were allowed to do the walk around video. And one of the questions that I got from one of my producers, they asked, what does this coop mean to you? What does it mean to be here right now? And sitting there and just thinking, this wonderful coop that we built for the vice president's residence, the Vances obviously wanted it. They wanted to get backyard chickens. Awesome, awesome people, by the way. I'm sure everyone knows that. And also for their kids. Like, there's so much more I would love to share with you guys. I know us people on the outside world probably don't believe, but the kids are very, very involved. Either way, for me to be sitting there going, I don't want to say I did it, but I want to say, look what we've done. It is possible. It is possible to go from nothing, dream harder than you're working, and you could be standing at the vice president's residence with a chicken coop that is beautiful and gorgeous and functions beautifully.
Well, Matt, I know we don't have the video yet of your walk around, but what did you do for the vice president that perhaps is a little different?
What's different is how custom and unique that coop is. If you look at that hen house area, it's round. Anyone in construction understands when you got to build something round, it's a nightmare. It is a lot more work. When you go to the lumber yard or the building materials store, everything's straight, if you really think about it. So now you got to figure out how to take everything straight and turn it. Okay. And for us, we got to make it beautiful. It's going to a place of history, the United States Naval Observatory. I mean, think about what it has done for this country. And here is this beautiful round hen house. And I couldn't be prouder of my team where we really pushed it where, I won't bore you with too much building practices, but we took all straight wood, threw it down on our robotic machines called CNCs and cut the perfect curvature in it that turned into the ribs of the structure. And it went together perfectly like a 3D puzzle should.
Wow. Were you raised on a farm or something? Where did this come from?
I don't know where it came from. I can tell you I was born with entrepreneurial disease, and every entrepreneur knows what I mean right now. It is just you're born with it. It's almost a disease and curse, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And the quick story is and this is a very important story. When I was in 5th grade, I was your typical boy. I couldn't sit still. I felt stupid. Everyone else was getting the classes. They were able to read. They were able to do all the things, get the good grades. I was like, am I stupid? Like, why can't I get this? And I'll never forget, come springtime, my teacher walked in with this styrofoam spaceship looking thing with a carton of eggs on top. And I was just zoned in on it for whatever reason. Like my gut, my instincts, everything just said, go to that. Right. So I went to it and she explained to me, we're going to start hatching eggs. And I was just fascinating with it. So I became obsessed with it. It took 21 days to hatch them. And I'll never forget when the time came I think we hatched about a dozen chickens, and there's like 4 of us that were going to be allowed to take the baby chicks home for the weekend, right? And the teacher handpicked 4 of us, and I'll never forget, I was the last one. So I'm sitting there going, pick me. I'm like, come on. I did so much work on this. And when she picked me, my classmates all did this. Oh, no, not Matt. Oh, he's going to kill all the chickens, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm all like excited she picked me. But in my mind, I'm giving them, the middle finger. But I was like, okay, sweet. So I bring them home, do my thing, bring them back. I was the only student that brought them all back alive. Wow. It was at that moment I said, I love this. And you're the chicken man. Yeah. Well, I mean, it just came natural to me. So I knew when I got older, I just want to have a couple chickens, and I got a couple chickens, chicken math kicked in, and here we are.
That's fantastic. Bob, do you have anything?
Jerry,
I really wish I could hear Bob.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have to pass. But Matt, let me ask you.
Can I ask how he got the gig?
Maybe you can translate if you can hear Bob.
By the way, Matt, so Bob is asking, how did you get the gig at the vice president's place? Was it on LinkedIn or something?
No, it's the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I like to do both, but they became customers, and then they became friends. And I told them, if any opportunity comes up because of what they do for a living, I said, please, I'm a hard dreamer, and I set my goals really, really high. And I told them what I would love, a coop at the White House, and we will end up having a coop at the White House. But this came about, and she said,
that's the spirit, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to. If you're not dreaming, if your dreams don't scare you, you're wasting your time. I mean, just go back and be a robot. Anyways, so she called me up. She goes, I got something for you. I said, what's that? She goes, I just talked to Usha, and she said that JD really wants a chick coop at the vice president's residence. Wow. Sign me up. I spent the rest of my day just masterminding how we're going to convince them that we are the people to do it. And it took no convincing. Like, it just... It was such an amazing experience to work with them.
Well, I love your energy.
You can tell we're glad this, Jerry.
Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me here.
Are we done? So glad it turned out better than the reflecting.
I really want to hear Bob.
Yeah. Bob said he's so glad it turned out better than the reflecting pool.
Oh man, I wish I could be free and speak freely now. I love the conversation you guys were having before I came on. But in business,
Matt, we don't have your video yet, but send it along and we'll show it in a couple of days. Okay?
I would love that.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Pleasure to meet you.
Same here. Thanks, guys.
Okay. All right, Bob.
I have no idea. I'm going to get on our technical people and find out what the hell they're doing.
That would be you, Bob.
Oh yeah, I am the technical person. I have no idea. We're still, as we've talked about, we're working out the kinks on this. I have no way of knowing. Why wouldn't he be able to hear me unless there are only so many channels going through?
I know. With Tracy worked fine, but I have a kicker. I have a kicker.
Yeah.
Have you heard this yet? A Major League Baseball star. Now, you used to play baseball a little bit, right?
Yep.
A Major League Baseball star admits that he now believes that Babe Ruth never existed as wild conspiracy theory spreads.
Okay, well, I don't believe Babe Ruth was a concoction, but I do believe portraying him as the greatest baseball player of all time is completely unrealistic. He was facing guys that weren't as good as far as pitching was concerned. The athletes are just so much better these days. You can't tell me he hit better than Barry Bonds when Bonds was at his peak, even though he was on steroids at the time.
Right. But this
I-
guy, Chicago, he's a Chicago Cub outfielder, and many
Yeah.
others like him insist that Babe Ruth was just a myth.
Well, there are also guys in the NBA that say the earth is flat.
True. True.
So,
But anyway,
But
that's all I have for today.
okay, I will say I don't believe Babe Ruth is the greatest hitter, greatest player of all time. But he's always portrayed as such. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm too
Okay.
realistic to believe that. All right,
All right.
Jerry, that was
Okay.
great. Good conversations, and
Yep.
I'm gonna go.
And remember, don't mess with the Kennedys.
Okay, are we ever going back to the other one?
Let
gotta
me
get
get this
you- I
out of
gotta
my
work you out
system.
of this.
Don't mess with the Kennedys. Leave them alone.
Okay, all right. See you
Okay.
there.
All right. Bye.